It's Bruins Benders Postgame Live on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel with Matty and Smitty. Click subscribe. Get your Bruins Benders merch on InsideTheRink.com/Bruins-Benders. Follow us on the social media. Matty and Smitty postgame again of the Bruins. They get a 2-game win streak snapped tonight, 6-3 in Ottawa, and this is probably the last nail in the coffin. This is a game they probably had to have if they had any aspirations of getting to the playoffs. And the goaltender, the $8.25 million goaltender, gives up 4 in the first, gets pulled. Bruins keep battling like they have been the last 3 or 4 games. It just wasn't enough. Ottawa, a talented team, a team that Smitty said would make the playoffs. He's correct. They're making some distance. They have the top wild card. And the Bruins fall 6-3. And now we can start looking to next year, I believe.
Yeah, the first period was their downfall. Swayman wasn't ready. Look, the Bruins were bad in front of him. I tweeted out at the time, Swayman needed much, much more help than he was getting early in the game. I mean, shots were 6-0 at one point. Got outshot 15-5 or 15-6 or something like that in the first period. The Bruins were bad all around, but Swayman certainly didn't help the situation. 4 goals. The first one he definitely should have had. Makes a mistake on handling the puck on the 4th goal. Nothing he could do on the 3rd goal, but he still didn't really push over to try to get it. Like, I don't know if he got locked on the post somehow. Like, he kind of fell backwards. Like, he just seemed to not be focused. And Ty Anderson tweeted out a stat that Swayman, when he plays 3 in a row, has 3 wins and has lost 6 of his last 8. His save percentage was .882. And with the game tonight, it was worse. So he can't play 3 in a row. I don't know. Like, if Ty Anderson has the stat, why doesn't Bruins management, their analytics department, goalie Bob, why does he not have that stat? They're just gonna like throw caution to the wind and be like, well, he usually doesn't play well when we go back to back games with him. And this is a game we really have to have. But fuck it, let's throw him in there anyway.
Throw it in there anyway.
See what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fucking the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And
it just, I just feel like they finally got irritated that they had to pay $825 for the guy, and they're like, you're gonna play all the fucking time. Like, I just feel like that's what it feels like to me. I
mean, it probably is to a certain degree. And I was gonna say this for later on, but fuck it, you're talking about it now. Elias Lindholm might not be the worst contract they signed last offseason.
It might not be. That might be the worst one. I mean, if you look at goalies,
it might be the Bulldog. Bulldog is fucking ass right off the ice tonight. Yeah, you're really fucking trying hard, Bulldog.
Yeah.
Setting the goalie market for what?
If he plays 55 games a year, is that worth 8.25? Like, because that's what it looks like it's going to have to be. Like, so if your backup's playing 25, 27 games and you're playing 55, should they really be paying you 8.25? Shesterkin's deal is the worst contract in the world. Like, to give that guy 11, 12 million. I mean, a goaltender just isn't worth that. Because at the end of the day, like we've talked about, the goaltender has to be hot at the right time in the postseason. Yeah, it's great to have a really good goaltender, and some won, like Brodeur and Roy, and guys won. Sure, that were really good goaltenders, but a lot that were really good didn't win. Yeah, Lundqvist and other guys didn't win.
Tuukka Rask,
didn't win. So at the end of the day, is it really worth that kind of money? And now you're almost wondering, do you keep Ullmark last year and just ride out the last 2 or 3 years of that deal, 2 years, whatever it was of that deal, and say, you know what, let's trade Swayman instead, and then deal with it when Ullmark's time is up. So
I mean,
let's revisit his history, but Jesus, now look at it.
It is. I mean, everybody in their right mind probably would have said keep Swayman because of the age factor of it, and they were pretty comparable stat wise while they were here. And Ullmark wasn't as good in the playoffs. Swayman came in for him twice, 2 series in a row. He replaced him. So I mean, you can nitpick it, but at the same time, they might have been better off going with a goalie tandem or something like that than paying Swayman all this money. You know, get somebody else. You know, trade Swayman and go Korpisalo and some other fucking clown next year. You know, and save the 8.25 and spend it on Mitch Marner and some other guy. And
you're almost tempted to. You're almost tempted to shore up your defense a little bit.
Yeah.
You change your structure and say, hey, let's just go with Korpisalo and DiPietro or something next year. You know, and then see where you are.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
I mean, you get to the point where, and look, I know this is a lost year for everybody, and he'll probably be better next year, and he'll be fine in the long run. But right now, it really feels like a bad contract. You know, he holds out for it, so you know it pisses off Marchand. It pisses off probably other people. You know, setting the goalie market. I go to business school, like all the fucking.
Of course it did. Of course it pissed. Of course it irritated people.
All the douchey shit he said in the media, he comes across bad. And now I said it was going to happen at the time. The fans have turned on him. And
they have.
And it's going to be, he's going to have to play his motherfucking ass off next year to get that thing to flip back. And I'm not sure it will.
I'm not sure it will.
It's going to be like a Rask thing from now on. Like, you know, there'll be some guys that root for him and want him to succeed, but there's going to be a whole group of people all along that anytime a goal goes in, a soft goal, they're going to be like, trade his ass.
Hey, this is what Swayman is. Yep, this is what he is.
5. Fucking see you later. It's gonna be here forever.
He's going to have to win the cup.
He's going to have to win a cup, or he's going to have to win a Vezina and a cup,
or a couple.
Right. Smythe. He's going to have to do something that fucking gets people off his back. And until he does something big like that, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. And I think the Swayman thing was a major factor in how the year started. You know, how it started. And then the captain was irritated. And
Swayman,
the comments are, look at the comments. They're all like, Swayman sucks. I hate him. No more hugs, dickhead. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. If people aren't happy with him. And you know what? Rightfully so. I mean, after all that, he's like the 27th ranked goaltender in the league or something. I mean, he's got a goals against over 3, a save percentage well under 9. Like the guy is. That's Korpisalo last year.
Yeah, last year.
That's Korpisalo last year.
When he was bad.
What Swayman is. That's what Swayman is right now. Yeah. That's what Swayman is right now. So you can't have that. So you have to decide in the offseason, you know, first of all, how many games is he going to play? And he's got to get up to speed to play 65 games. If that's what you want him to do, 60 games or whatever. And then he's got to be able to extend it into the playoffs. He's never shown that.
Nope.
Ever. So he's never played more than 50 games or whatever in his life. So what makes you think he can do that? What makes you think he can play 80 games and win a cup? I don't think he can. Like, he hasn't shown it. So that's a major thing. I mean, how much is the team behind the guy? How much does the team like the guy anymore? How much does the team now? A lot of those guys are gone. So maybe these new guys he can build a relationship with them and he can smooth it over, like you said. But it's really going to come down to, can you stop the puck? Yeah. And if you can stop the puck, then we're all good.
Here's a conspiracy theory I heard about Swayman and about Lauko coming back in the trade. Did you hear this?
No.
Lauko was one of Swayman's good friends when Lauko was on the team. And part of the reason that they traded for Lauko from Minnesota was because Swayman really doesn't have any friends on the team.
Stop it.
He needs a hug. He needs.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes.
I mean, seriously. See, this is what I'm saying about management.
This is what I'm saying.
Fucking kidding me?
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
This is what I heard. I'm just telling you what I heard.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What is the management doing? Stop catering to these assholes. Make your own fucking friends. It's not the 3rd grade. Like, honestly, you're going to bring Joey in from the other class, the other 3rd grade class, because Timmy's crying in the corner? I mean, fucking, what are we doing? I mean, honestly, you make $8.25 million a year. Make a fucking friend. Like, honestly.
I'll be his friend.
Oh, my God. Like, seriously?
I'll be his friend as long as he picks up the check. I'll be his friend.
That's the issue. then they really have to make a hard decision if they're going to continue on with this contract with him.
Well,
They have to.
and my point to all that is he really the bulldog? If you need a best friend to come back from another organization to have here to hug, are you really a bulldog? Are you really a grind it out, win at all costs kind of a guy? If you can't play well unless you have a friend on the team?
No, I'll tell you what it is.
It sounds more like fragile than a bulldog to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I look at. I think we misread last year when he was this bulldog, like stepping up to people, showed that edge, and we were like, "Oh wow, this guy plays with an edge, and he'll confront guys in the crease and all that in the playoffs." And I think we misread it. Like I don't think he's that guy at all. And right now, he just hasn't been able to get out of his own way. He had 2 really good games after the trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then now tonight he has a complete fucking stinker. And like you said, every third or fourth game, it's just not that great, especially if he plays 3 in a row. So if you're paying $8.25 million for a goaltender and he can't play 3 games in a row, what are we doing? Like that's just he can't. I mean, that's not good at all.
No.
So and look, his defensive core is not great in front of him. We get it. I mean, it's Ian Mitchell and some guy named fucking Callahan, and I don't know. Like I don't know who these guys are.
Wahlstrom tonight were
dreadful. And someone asked in the chat earlier, is Mitchell an RFA? Yes, and I don't think they'll bring him back. I don't think so either. I mean, I wouldn't bring him back.
I mean he'll be in Providence. I mean, he's an RFA. I don't think maybe they won't bring him back, but I feel like he'll be a depth guy in Providence, and you'll have McAvoy back. You'll have Hampus Lindholm back. So that will be a defense, and you won't have to look at either one of these guys. Wotherspoon is a UFA, so he's gone. He's going somewhere else. He'll be a third pair on some other team. But Mitchell will be a depth guy probably, but the Bruins will go out and get somebody else. Like they'll go out and get a 7th defenseman or an 8th defenseman. It's not going to be Ian Mitchell. Ian Mitchell is a very, very poor man's Matt Grzelcyk. That's what he is. He's a bad version of Matt Grzelcyk. And Matt Grzelcyk is no great shakes.
No. I mean, look, both the top 2 defensemen are out. Now Carlos traded. I get it. But for God's sakes, make a save.
Someone cross said Jeremy Chihuahua Swayman.
Not a bulldog. A Chihuahua. A Shih Tzu. Tonight.
Shih Tzu.
I'll tell you that right now. A Shih Tzu.
Jeremy Golden Doodle Swayman. That's what he is.
Yeah. I mean, look. And Korpisalo, I mean, you got Swayman and Korpisalo. I don't trust either one of them. As B said in the comment, 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1. Yeah. And Swayman is fucking lonely right now. He's the number 1 and he's lonely. Yeah. So there's a double whammy. All right.
Well, now he's got his buddy back. He's got Lauko back.
He does. Hey, before we get to the comments, I just want to say thanks for the 2 orders we had. After Smitty pleaded and begged and swore and reprimanded people to try to get something on the website, we sold 2 things.
Look, we did sell things, and now we need a streak.
We do.
We need a 2 in a row thing. We need a streaking. We need you guys to buy something again tonight. Look, here's the mug. It's fucking beautiful, right? Look at that thing.
Yep, fucking gorgeous. That's a beautiful mug.
It really is.
It's dishwasher safe if you haven't heard.
Yeah, it's dishwasher. My wife made sure of it. It's dishwasher safe. But we also have, because I know you guys are big on the sips, we have a Bruins Benders Rocks glass going live tonight, right now. You can use the coupon code. Sorry, John, get 20% off.
Look at that. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I have my order in already.
Wow.
So go on there, use the coupon code. You can get 20% off all the stuff on the store, including the new Rocks glass. Buy that shit. We need to have a streak going here. We need to run off some wins in a row. Just like the Bruins.
Absolutely.
Run some off in a row too. So please help us out there. For the love of God, buy something from the store.
Yeah, and hey, get your sips in there. Rajiv has tonight's sip, Berry Monkey Fruited Sour Triple.
Oh yeah,
Nicely done.
get after it.
Maker's Mark Old Fashioned for Adrienne. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah,
Let's go. I had like 6 beers and 2 lemon drop shots. Watching the Bruins give up goal after goal tonight.
Yeah.
So that was good. B had 5 different types of drinks and is probably sound asleep. Other than that, who else we have? We had another sip in here too.
Ooh, that sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah. I would tell you, it was it's one of those little friggin', towny bar type places. They had karaoke going.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. But it was one of those nights you could sit there all night.
I love that.
And so Michigan Mike, thanks so much for buying that mug. Very nice. Tequila and soda from Matt Curtis. There was another sip I saw in here, but I can't. You guys just, there's so much good stuff in this comments. I can't keep up. Like, it's a good problem to have.
It is.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
It really is.
Active.
We love you guys. We really do.
We really do. I mean, this has been so much fun. We never thought it would be like this.
Yeah.
Tonight B was like, you guys have like a cult following. Because she saw all the comments like during the game. She's like, people are talking in there during the game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they do every time.
We might have to do like a watch party on YouTube Live for one of the games. We'll just.
I think we should do the game, the second to last game. I think it's a Sunday, Pittsburgh, like 6. It'll be 3:30, so like a 6 p.m. post game.
Okay.
I think because the last game of the year is on a Tuesday night. Yeah, we can do that too. I don't give a shit. But Sunday, like just be on here on YouTube and we'll make it a watch party. Because by then.
You got to do it on a Friday or a Saturday night.
Say,
everybody's
going to
get
a Friday or Saturday night because we want to get. We should get lit up. I mean, everybody should get lit up, right? Everybody should have a rocks glass or a mug.
Everybody should get it.
Maybe a pint glass coming soon. And we'll just all get lit up together and watch the Bruins lose.
I hear you. Pistachio martini for B. That's right. And shout out to North
Beach Monster Energy drink.
Oh,
because he's
okay.
He's working.
Okay. Fox Guy 67 just bought the Benders glass. The street
who bought it? Who bought
it? Fox Guy 67. Yeah. And a shout out to Northwoods Gourmet Girls and Moosehead Lake, Maine. Got the country ketchup, delicious. So we had a night. Anyway, comments. A lot of Swayman comments. A lot of people just
not
irritated. Let's see. Let's start way back. Pastrnak. So David Pastrnak scores on a beautiful tip tonight. My goodness. I mean, that was high-end tip. Again, he is playing great hockey. I think he's matured a lot this season, and I think that's a really good sign for them. And also, he's a guy who advocates for people to come here. He's going to be a recruiter, I'm sure. And it's going to be really important to have a guy like him on the team so that other free agents would even consider coming to play with a player of his caliber.
Yeah, you're going to need him. You're going to need McAvoy, Zadorov, everyone that's, to try to recruit guys to come here. But Pastrnak especially, like he'll be the reason that offensive players come to play here for sure.
No, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. For sure. Absolutely for sure. Let's see what else we have here. How about whose nuts are these, or who's the Nutted or what's his name?
We're calling him Nutty
with a goal and a beautiful finish.
They're calling him Hoozy or Koozy, something like one of those things.
Hoozy. Yeah,
I like Nutty personally.
I like Nutty. Call him Nutty. Yeah, maybe we can start that trend.
Yeah,
maybe we should do it on social media. Just call him Nutty every time.
The Bruins said we call him Koozy or something like that, and I just tweeted right underneath it. I like Nutty.
Oh, Nutty. Absolutely. Multiple purchases of the glass already, says Connor. That's terrific.
Yes.
Where's T-Baw's been? Dan Maynard. Good question.
He's moving. I told you.
He's moving. That's right. From Tampa to
he's moving to like the Great Midwest. He's going to
Palisades or where's he? Oh, he's going near producer Connor. Yeah, he's living like 2 hours.
Yeah, he's living with Connor.
He's moving in with Connor. Yeah.
He's living with Connor while he gets situated.
That's right. That's right.
Connor's not like that. He'll just open his home to random Bruins fan.
Oh, he will. Yeah.
Benders fam on
He
here.
doesn't know half the people who live there.
No, he doesn't care.
There's chickens there, and
chickens.
Some of them have heads.
Some of them have heads. Some of them don't.
Some of them don't.
Some of them aren't. So it's a farm. Shit happens.
It's a farm. Let's see. Beecher finally got a point tonight, Rajiv. He did.
Yeah, and he also took the dumbest penalty in the history of the world. To put the Sens up 3-1. I watched him do it too the whole time. Just let go of the guy. For fuck's sake, let go of him.
Let go of him. Yeah, stop holding him.
Hold it like hell. But just let go of the fucking guy. I mean, for crying out loud. He was opposite. He was on the opposite wing of where the puck was. Why are you holding the guy?
Right.
It's not like Stützle is Tom Wilson. He's going to come down here and run one of your fucking defensemen.
No. True.
And then they scored.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're going to give Beecher one more go of it.
Beecher has a career high 11 points. Yeah, they're going to give him a fucking
career high, meaning career back to high school, back to mites and bantams. Like that career high. Because he hasn't had more than that
his highest
since
point
he was 12.
Since
I had more street hockey points than he had in his whole career. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Down to Hingham Sports Center.
Oh, the Hingham Sports Center.
We were
playing against Danny Wood. Playing against Danny Wood of the New Kids on the Block. Yeah, back in the day. Saz Dye with a good point. The fact that the Bruins caved and gave Swayman money based on him playing better in the future and said no to Marchand, a proven 50, 60 point producer, and your captain is ridiculous. Plus the money they gave to Lindholm and to Zadorov, and then to have kind of no money left for Marchand is a weird play.
It is. It's a very weird play. And, they may come to regret it. They may come to regret it. They might. A lot of people have said, he's one of the building blocks. Well, if you base it on this year, he isn't.
Yeah.
You hope he is. But, I mean, there's been situations with goalies in the past where, guys had it and looked good. Bruins goalies, too. And then they just lost it and never got it back.
Screeching this for the last few years that Swayman could be a huge fucking dud, and we haven't seen the full book yet because a lot of other goaltenders in the league come in, they have 2 really stellar seasons, and then they fucking take a huge nosedive in production once enough of the league has a scouting report and other players know where to shoot the puck, know where to play the puck on them, etc., and they become more human again.
Yeah, I mean, it happened with Carter Hart. It happened back in the day with the Bruins with Blaine Locker. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, you just lose it.
Just had nothing. Had a good season or season and a half, and then never found it ever again. So
never found it.
You hope that Swayman comes out of this on the other side in good shape. As a Bruins fan, you better hope that he's good because you're paying him a lot of money for a long time. So you're either going to have to get out from underneath that contract somehow, trade him somewhere, or, hope he turns this thing around. So, that's not a lot of great options right now with the way he's playing. So you got to hope that he turns this thing around, sooner rather than later.
Sure. I said earlier, Sabar Cross, I think, said, is Swayman really 27th? I don't know. But at one point, he was down that low. I mean, he was way down.
Well, at one point, he was worst. At
one point, he was the worst goaltender.
He was the worst goaltender in the league with goals.
Worst starter. Yeah.
Above expected. He was the worst in the league.
He was the worst guy in the league.
That was, the first month or so when he came back.
Right. The Camp Show says goalie feels like you need to have a solid bedrock guy, but history shows you don't need a superstar in net to win the cup. Ask the Blackhawks with Crawford.
Yeah.
So Crawford's a good example.
Absolutely.
But they were a wagon of a team, and he just kept the fort and made the saves he had to make. I mean, Bennington is another guy.
Yeah, Bennington's terrible.
He's not very good.
But then he'll get on a hot streak and make some great saves. did it in the Four Nations.
There's been guys who've made runs, J.S. Jaguar and
Yeah.
Arthur Zerbe. There's been all sorts of guys who've made runs at goaltender, and aren't super great, but they're good enough, for that run. Bobrovsky Alex Lyon was playing over him. And then Lyon gets pulled, and Bobrovsky never loses his job again. But he was not great.
No, he had some down years, but he won a Vezina back in the day. So
yeah, back in the day, but he looked like he was going south.
He did.
He turned it around. And that's another thing of resetting the market with the goaltender. Now I'm convinced that you shouldn't do that. Like, you shouldn't be paying the the goaltender the highest, or even close to the highest contract. I mean, I think he's tied for 6th contract wise in goaltenders, or 5th, right around there. And he's not worth it right now. He's not even close to worth it right now.
I really think the Capitals did a much better job with their thing.
Yeah.
Traded for a couple guys, signed them to deals, but neither deal was, really that prohibitive. I think, what was it? Logan Thompson, right?
Yeah.
Signed for like 6.5, somewhere in there.
And Charlie Lindgren. Yeah.
And then Lindgren signed like 3. So,
just under. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah,
you're at like 9.
Yeah, you're 9.5, and the Bruins are at 11 and 11 and
2.25. Yeah.
So that's a couple extra $1 million that Queens could spend on a 4th line guy.
Producer Connor seems to think that Korpisalo is getting bought out, and that they'll try to go with DiPietro. We don't think so, because that's just not. The Bruins value the goaltender way too much.
They do,
and there's no way. In fact, I think they're going as close to tandem as you can next year. I think they're going closer to tandem than Swayman being the absolute guy playing 60 games. I really do.
They should.
I think they are. The numbers say that you have to, or you're going to lose hockey games. You almost have to, because the other guy, your number one guy, can't win 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, they should be doing it now. I mean,
they should.
I don't know who's in the analytics department. I don't know if it's goalie Bob picking the fucking starter every night or whatever.
Yeah.
But somebody has to have the fucking stats.
Sure.
So yeah, they should be doing it. They should be doing that. It's proven to work for them. So I don't know why you would go away from it now anyway. Like, why do you all of a sudden need a number one guy? Because Swayman wants to be the number one guy?
I mean, that's the thing that I don't get. Like, they were so hell-bent on the tandem, and then all of a sudden they're going to pay the guy out the nose to be the number one guy. It just didn't line up with what their philosophy was.
It doesn't, but and I'm sure it was Swayman saying, I'm leaving if I'm not going to be the number one guy.
But then they had to get rid of the other guy because they didn't want to pay both.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that going into it, Don Sweeney knew that both of these guys wanted about the same amount of money?
Yeah.
And he had to make the choice of, all right, we're either trying to win now, and I'm moving Swayman for a bunch of win now assets, or do we move Ullmark and this is sort of the beginning of a retool?
Yeah, I mean, I if that's the case, I probably would have given Ullmark the 4 years. And
I get what Connor's saying though. Like, your window has closed, so why pay the older guy? I think is what he's saying. Like, why give Ullmark the money if Bergeron's gone now, Krejci's gone, like all the like your cup window closed, so you're going with the younger guy because you're hoping the Pastrnak.
Yeah, because Ullmark will never be here when.
Right.
If you're in Don Sweeney's shoes last July or even September at that point, or you have to say July because Ullmark was here. Marchand wasn't close on an extension, and you weren't sure if you were getting that done. You pretty much knew that Trent Frederick wasn't going to come back, and you weren't going to be able to bridge that.
Sure.
And then you had the 2 goaltenders, and you knew that you had to make a choice. So Don Sweeney, if he is the fucking Harvard guy, he should have seen this coming a mile away.
Yeah.
He should have seen it, but he didn't, because he did it in the wrong order.
He just didn't have a great off season. He just didn't have a great off season. He chased the number one center and took a flyer on a guy he thought might morph into a number one center if in the right environment and with Pastrnak or whatever the hell. And it didn't work out. He thought he was Bergeron 2.0 or Bergeron Jr. Didn't work out. He goes get Zadorov because he's just tired of playing, getting killed and not having a guy to stand up for people, wanted to be big and heavy and all that. And he overpays him to do that. And then he gets taken to the woodshed by Swayman, and he completely mismanages that thing. He thought Swayman, he didn't think that would go like it did with Swayman. So that's the other thing. So those are three, he just misjudged and mismanaged the whole offseason. Then he gets Tufty and Jones and Kastelic and all these other guys, trades Allmark, and it just wasn't a great offseason at all. And I'm still tickled pink that they're gonna have 3 more years of Mark Kastelic, because that had to happen in December. Had to get that done. So I just it wasn't great. Wasn't great.
Let me ask you, and I may have asked you this at the time because I was pissed about the trade to begin with. Do you think he signed him to the extension because he came back in the Allmark trade, and you can't let the guy fucking walk away because you traded your number one Vezina goalie for a fourth
Louis Eriksson 2.0, baby?
Yeah,
you have to sign him because you can't let the guy walk after you just traded your fucking star goalie for him. So
you had to sign him. Yeah, you were fucked.
Yeah, that's probably
you had Korpisalo and Di Pietro. You had or Bussy or somebody. You had or you had to go get a scrap heap guy.
No. I mean the Kastelic extension.
Oh, the Kastelic extension.
You had to sign Kastelic because he was part of the return of the Hallmark trade, and you can't let him walk away because
Then what do you have? You have the backup. You have the backup goalie, and Dean Letourneau, who may never amount to anything.
Yeah.
So that's your return for a Vezina goaltender. Yeah.
And
so you're right.
One more point on Jeremy Swayman. Is Jeremy Swayman the number one goaltender for the Boston Bruins question will not be answered until October of 2026, when Jeremy Swayman's no move clause kicks in. So he still has 1 more year to make his decision on Swayman.
Oh, okay.
He has no trade protection.
No trade protection
until October 2026.
Okay, well that's pretty telling. That's pretty telling there. So that's the following season. So he has a whole season to figure that out.
All the way up until next year's draft. Not
so
this coming one, the following.
So it could happen trade deadline next year that they deal him. They give him a shot, not working it, and they trade him at the deadline.
Trade him at the draft.
Yeah. Trade him fucking, whenever it is. When is it? The day the fucking thing ends.
See, here's the problem. He's had a terrible year, so his market is down.
And he's making a shit ton of money.
So you can't really trade him now. And then if he starts to play well, then they won't want to trade him because he's playing well.
Right.
And then they'll keep him for the 8.25.
He's going to have to keep playing like this for them to think of trading him at the deadline next year.
Yeah, and then they're going to get horseshit in return, but you got to get out from
They won't trade him this offseason or anytime before the deadline next year because of what you said about his performance and also the fact that they put that non-protection in there for a reason.
They got to get out.
See if it'll work. And I think they'll try to get out from underneath it.
They need to do it now, not wait. Or they end up in the same fucking scenario that they were with this contract, and they're up against the wall of his trade protection.
And the Allmark thing, yeah.
And somebody else can say, well, you take this or let his trade protection kick in, and he gets to tell you where he wants to play.
Yeah. I mean, a real bold move would be to get rid of him.
They could pull if he's pissed them off enough, they could pull a Chris Drury and be like, look, we're gonna trade you to fucking Anaheim or or whatever. Take
Utah.
You're gonna go someplace you don't want to go, like they did with Trouba. Kind of force the hand if they want to be.
Throw them on waivers.
Yeah.
Stabwalk Cross says Swayman is the issue, not Elias Lindholm. He'll get his flow. As Smitty said time and time again, Bruins were out of whack during training camp. I said trade Sway then. They were definitely out of whack for many different reasons. They just mismanaged that whole friggin' thing. And it was pretty bad. His contract is not movable, says Pejman. If he plays like this, no one will take that albatross. And that's true right now. That's 100% true. But as Smitty said, it's a kind of a catch-22. If he plays well at the beginning of next year, they won't trade him because he's playing well.
Right.
So the only way you're going to trade him if he's not playing well, and then his value isn't as good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he goes into the first half of next year and plays similar to this, then you have to wonder, is this what the guy is? And
right.
now you're fucked.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play better.
Absolutely true.
Still only 2 back of the second wild card, though, says Samuel. God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, they played more games than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a few cupcakes coming up. They can play Buffalo and Pittsburgh and San Jose and Anaheim. And, they might win some of those games. But look, this is a team that's not super talented, so they could lose to anybody. They could lose to San Jose out there.
The problem is most of those games are on the road. They suck on the road.
They are terrible on the road. They are awful on the road.
They are.
They really are.
And most of the games this month are on the road. Most of them.
I hear you 100%.
Yeah.
They're on the road, and they're not very good.
No.
As evidenced tonight. How many blowouts on the road? How many times they give up more than 5 goals on the road this year? A ton.
Yeah.
A ton.
That would be a good stat to find out.
That would be a good stat right there. How many times on the road they give up? Like, what's their goals against average per game on the road? Jesus, must be close to 4. Must be 4. Let's see what else we have here. I'm so over Swayman, says Hasmick. Never have I been more sure we traded the wrong goalie. It's hard to say because at the time I was like, yeah, trade Ullmark and get something for him. And Swayman had that really good playoff. So you thought this guy's a pretty good goalie. Then, of course, the contract dispute was but I'll tell you what, when they finally signed him, there's a lot of people out there who are like, okay, great. They signed him. And it's $825. Yeah, it's a lot, but there wasn't a lot of people who really were like, oh my God, severe overpayment. There weren't a lot of people like that. I think there were a lot of people who were relieved that it was done. He was finally, signed. He was locked up. They still thought that he was a goalie he was in the playoffs. So I don't think there was a lot of like, Jesus, that's a terrible mistake. I didn't hear a lot of that. I do now.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear a lot of that then.
No.
It was more of a thank God they finally signed and Sway is the way and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm not sure.
Here is your goals against for the Bruins on the road. They have a 3.61 goals against.
So they're giving up 3.61 goals per game on the road.
And the save percentage on the road is 8.83.
8.83. That's horseshit. That's not very good.
Yep.
That's not very good at all.
Not good at all. It's bad, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Salty Bruins fan, don't worry. Next year, Don will trade all the prospects he got this year for a 33-year-old vet. And here's the other thing. Now that they've traded all these guys, there's only like 5 guys left on the roster that Don Sweeney has drafted. And one of them's Lauko. Like it's McAvoy, Swayman, Beecher, Poitras. He's not even on the roster. And then Lauko. Like there's in Lohrei. So there's really not a lot there. Like that he's drafted. I think it's the 18 and 19 classes. The 18 and 19 classes, nobody from those classes at all on the roster. 15 is gone. Everybody's gone now. And that complete mismanagement of a draft. That's all gone. McAvoy in 16, Swayman in 17, and then Beecher, Lohrei, Poitras. Lauko was 18, but he's been brought back because he's Swayman's buddy, evidently. Are they going to sign the guy? I mean, are they going to re-sign Jaukb Lauko? Because he can hug Swayman after is he going to be on the team?
He likes grapes too.
I'll tell you what, Lauko's a great personality. I mean, I like the guy.
He is a great personality, and
Yes.
the Bruins winning percentage with him on the team is like 780 or some fucking ridiculous thing. Producer Connor wants to chime in.
Speaking of ridiculous things, here comes the Bruins blowouts. I quickly went through the whole schedule for this year, and I picked out all the blowouts, which is 4 or more goals, in my opinion. 8-0 to Carolina, 7-2 to Dallas, 8-1 in Winnipeg, 6-2 in Columbus, 5-1 in New Jersey, 7-2 in Buffalo. 6 games this year by 4 or more.
Wasn't there another one in Winnipeg? Didn't they lose to Winnipeg twice by combined like 15-3 or something? Or were those just road games?
Those were just the road games.
Oh, okay.
But they lost the other Jets game 6-2 at home.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Katie says, I don't know why we don't bring up DiPietro and give him a shot for a few games. Wonderful question.
We argued about this morning.
We did this morning, like about DiPietro. Why not give him a shot? Why not give him a few games? Why not? Like, see what you got. See what he could do. You know, maybe he looks okay, and you can really think about going into the offseason. Like, this guy might be an actual, you know, an option. Maybe. I mean, give him 3 or 4 games. Why the hell not?
You could do what Ottawa did just the other day after Allmark had his 48 save performance.
Yeah.
They gave him the next game completely off. Didn't even dress him.
No.
He sits on the 9th floor to watch the game. They call up a rookie from the AHL.
Yeah, he gets a shutout, didn't he?
I think the backup played, but the rookie was, the backing him up that night. So Allmark didn't even have to put the pads on. But for us, you could have Swayman just sit, not even put the pads on, and have Korpisalo or DiPietro play, and give somebody a breather that way. And I think DiPietro should play. They should give him some games.
I think that's really. Allmark recently played in 8 straight games, says Michigan Mike. And had a 48 save performance. He wasn't good tonight. It wasn't great tonight.
No.
Gave up 3 goals on 8 shots. But Ollie's been great, and he's been you traded Allmark to the team who was going to beat you out for the playoffs. How stupid is that? Like, that's the one piece they needed.
I said it at the fucking time.
And you said it at the time. You were like, Ottawa's better than you to begin with. They have a better forward group to begin with. You give them the one thing they need, which is a goaltender. You give it to them. And what happens? They make the playoffs and you don't.
Yeah. Jamming it up your ass.
I mean, that is stupid.
May have made the save of the year on Mason Lohrei in the 3rd period.
Oh, yeah.
And late in the 2nd period when it's a 5-3 game.
Yeah, that goes in. And
glove save.
Yeah.
Then it's 5-4. Then, maybe there's something happening there. But save of the year. Unbelievable glove save on Lohrei. And really, it was a great play all around, actually. I think it went, I don't know who started the play, but it went to Nutty, and then he got it across to Lohrei for the shot, and he got pretty good wood on it. And
he
just
did.
Unbelievable.
Great save
by Allmark.
Oh, unbelievable. Aussie Bruins 37. How many of those blowout games had Sway in net? Quite a few.
Yeah, most of them.
Quite a few. And they were talking, remember earlier in the year on the road when he was not getting pulled by Monty and he'd let him sit out there and cry.
Yeah. Sure.
That happened. Craig Lee, what are the tariffs on those rocks glass and coffee mugs for us Nova Scotia fans? Oh God. Let's see. But Connor's on it. It's not impacted right now, as we've been told.
No tariffs.
No tariffs on the rocks, on the Benders rocks glasses.
Connor is smuggling them across the line.
Oh my God. Don't tell your fearless leader. Those will be tariffed too. Yeah. Let's see. He's not. He says, what's the Peshwan? Who just said this? Peshwan says, not a very well-trained bulldog. Hasn't learned he needs to shit outside instead of on the ice. That's priceless. That is priceless. Yeah, I mean, now we need to start talking about who do you actually go with going forward? Because you brought in a bunch of guys. You guys have guys like who's nothing off. You have guys like him and Lauko playing.
Khustnidinov.
Yeah, and Lauko.
Yeah.
Mittelstadt will be on the team, but how about some of
Mittelstadt-
these other guys? Lettieri won't be. I wouldn't think so.
I mean, he's played pretty well.
He has, but I mean, are you a good team if Vinny Lettieri's on the second line?
No, well, I mean, look, he shouldn't be on the second line.
No offense to Vincenzo, but
No, he shouldn't be on the second line.
no. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I think they need two wingers before they need anything else. I think they need two wingers who can play.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
two wingers that can play, but two wingers that are like Mitch Marner and somebody else, like very good.
like really good players.
Yeah.
Like really good players.
Not just
Not this version of Morgan Geekie and all that. Two guys who can really play. Okay, so who are those guys? Marner and
The fucking commenters here asking questions, making producer Connor do some work.
Nice.
Out of all of
commenters, who do they want?
Out of all of the blowouts here,
okay.
Jeremy Swayman started in all of them but one.
There you go.
6-2 drubbing in Columbus, and he came in relief for Korpisalo, and he gave up one.
Yeah,
one. Okay. All right. I'm going forwards available. Tavares.
I'm
Marner.
Gonna say I want Marner, and I'm gonna go with Ehlers. Marner and Ehlers.
Okay. Ehlers is 29. $6 million. He's a free agent. And then Marner is going to be 28 by next season. The other guy's Besser. What about Besser?
Besser, sure. Sign me up.
Okay, he's 28. Then there's Marchand, Taylor Hall, Mangiapane. It starts to get thin quickly. Kuzmenko, Palmieri's probably going to resign. I thought I saw.
Yeah.
Riley Smith.
Nope.
Then it's bad. Then it's like Joel Armia and friggin' Jeff Skinner.
That's probably who it's going to be. It's going to be a guy like that.
Jeff Skinner. Noah Cates, Drouin, Capo Caco, Jesper Fast. These are just the wingers.
Caco,
those are Don Sweeney signings. Get the fuck out of here, baby.
Caco's having a pretty good little resurgence with Seattle.
Yeah. No, he is. No, he
had like 20. I want to say, because I did a preview for them. I think he had 22 points in like his last 31 games or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's played pretty well out there. Maybe that's a guy that needs some opportunity. But to me, like, if I'm the Bruins, that's a guy that I would want on my like third line, borderline second line. Caco.
Yeah.
That maybe could play a little power play to get his totals up.
Second line. Yeah.
But like really more of a third line guy.
Yeah. Third line. Yeah, Kako to me is a third line guy. Like if you could put Kako in instead of like a Lauko at third line. Yeah. If you can have Mittelstadt with Kako and somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Lindholm with Kako and somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I could consider that. Besser might be an option. Marner. Is Marner even going to be an option? Says Dan Maynard.
No.
No. Rajiv's like, I feel like Toronto's going to throw the bag at Marner, and I think that's true. I think they would.
They want to sign him to an extension, but as of right now, he does not want to talk to them.
He doesn't. He doesn't. So that means he's going. Look at Marner was one of the first guys to make $11 million.
Yeah,
like he made a huge amount of money when people weren't making that kind of money.
Yeah,
back then. So he's going 14, 15. Like he's going. He wants highest bidder.
Yeah, I mean he wants a lot of money. And I think he's tired of kind of taking the brunt of a lot of the Maple Leafs ire, fan ire up there.
It's a hard thing.
But the problem is he's going to want to go to a team that can win. He's not going to come here. So for the Bruins to get him at all, unless he wants to jam it up Toronto's ass, which, I mean, that could be a possibility. He'll probably go to like Tampa or Florida or even Montreal over you. but probably, Florida, no fucking state income tax. Like $15 million goes further there than it does here for sure.
Sure.
Or he'll go to Vegas or Dallas or Colorado. Like he's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, Dallas, they don't have income tax, right? Texas?
Not in Texas either. No. So they're going to go someplace.
Yeah.
He's going to go someplace where he can play on a good team and win. He's not coming here. That's a pie in the sky pipe dream for me. But I want the Bruins to be ultra aggressive going after him.
Well, Dan Maynard says, and this is an interesting question: how high do you think each of you think Sweeney will spend on a good player? Will he fork out 13, 14 for someone to carry this team? No, I don't think so. I don't think he goes above Pastrnak.
I was just going to say that.
I think Pasternak's just like, who was the Krejci was the bar at one point when he was making 7. Rask.
He was making 7 and change, wasn't he? 7 and something.
Right. Just
he was making
Rask.
7.5. Rask was making 7.25.
That's right. So that was the bar then. I'm telling you that Pasternak's is the bar now.
Pasternak's the bar.
So that's the problem. They're not going to be able to sign a Marner, Rantanen,
no.
Those types. They're not going to get elite level type of guy like that. So they're going to have to pay like 9, 10, maybe.
They might be willing
10 tops.
I mean, unless Marner, Pastrnak says like, I'm okay with it. That's the only that's the only way I could see it happening is if Pastra's like, yeah, I want more good players. Like, I don't care what you pay him, bring them in. That's the only way I could see it happening, but I still don't think they would do it. I think they might go up to Pastrnak. Like if Pasta makes 11.25, they might go 11.24. But that would be probably their highest offer, and they won't get him. So it'll be more like a guy like Ehlers or, maybe a Sam Bennett. I don't know. Like it'll be somebody like the next level down, which, is good because as I've said about the Patriots, like, when your team sucks, you don't have to get Hall of Famers. You just got to have guys that are better than the guys you have now. So I don't give a fuck exactly. Like you were asking me before about Jonathan Drouin and another, I don't know if it was the other podcast or one of the other post games, but like, I don't really want him, but I would take him on my team because he's better than what you have now. So beggars can't be choosers. If you've got a team full of shitty forwards, you got to get better forwards. And whether it's the top end is what I want, but they won't go that far to sign one of those guys. You just got to get better players. So I don't care if it's Sam Bennett or Ehlers or Drouin or Capo Paco. All those guys are better than guys
that you have
roster now.
Yeah,
so any of them would be fine with me.
As much as people are up, really feeling good about Khustnidinov, like he should be an AHL player to be the next season. You should have better players than him on the roster. You should, unless he's on your fourth line. Unless he's on your fourth line with Kastelic and Beecher and him. That's not about it.
I'm anti John Beecher. I'm Beecher.
Telling you to sign him.
I mean, they will, but I don't want him on my hockey team. So
no, I don't either.
Every time we talk about this, I'm going to just pretend in my head that he's not on the team. Yeah. So my fourth line is Lauko, fucking Nutty, and Kastelic.
Okay. I mean, fine.
That's my fourth. John Beecher is nowhere to be found.
Fine. And why? Because at the deadline, every single year, you can get a fourth line veteran guy.
Yeah, you can.
So you don't have to start the year with the 4 fucking fourth liners you signed in the offseason. Why? Why do you do that? You don't have to. You can get the fourth liner and a backup goaltender are the 2 easiest things in like a depth defenseman are the 3 easiest things you can get at the deadline. So why in hell, why would you sign 3 or 4 guys to try to shore up the fourth line in October?
Look, I mean, this deadline has proved it. You traded half your team off and you brought up a bunch of guys and they've been fine. Patrick Brown's been fine. So you got a guy down there that can just fill in on the fourth line whenever the fuck you need it.
Yes.
So you don't have to go out and sign guys to deals and multi-year deals. You don't. So just
You don't.
bring up the Patrick Browns of the fucking world when you need a guy. Because it's a guy. It's just a guy.
It's just a guy playing 10 minutes a game. Just don't fuck it up. That's all it is. It's just a guy.
They're not even playing 10 minutes. Might play 8 minutes.
Some of the times they play 7 or 8 minutes. That's it. You're not affecting the hockey game.
Question.
Yeah.
This offseason, do you think that Don Sweeney, and this is a 2-part question. So the first one, just a simple yes or no, and that'll lead me to my second question. Do you think this offseason, Don Sweeney is approaching it with they are winning for the playoffs and to try and win a Stanley Cup the very next season?
He's trying to make the playoffs next season because he has to.
Yeah.
He is targeting them to make the playoffs next season.
Correct.
So you think there is zero chance in his mind that he knows that they probably might not make the playoffs again next year, and they may need to have some pieces to move on from at the deadline?
No, I think that you missed twice in a row in the Boston Bruins. You're in danger of getting fired.
Correct.
Because the ownership wants playoff gates. They want ticket sales. They want concessions. They want you to buy the $26 fucking gin and tonics, and they want you to do it in the playoffs. So that's what it is. And I think if you ask Don Sweeney right now, he would tell you, we're still only 2 points out of after all that.
Yeah,
we're still only 2 points out. We make a couple of moves, we're right in the playoff mix.
Yeah, he thought they were going to be a playoff team this year. He thought they were.
Right. He thought they were until about 2 weeks before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
He was waiting for them to fucking turn it on.
Everyone on the teams had a bad year, but we're all going to turn around at once and make the playoffs. Here's John Beecher's stat line tonight. Okay, I just lost it.
Let me have it.
Fuck
0-0-0. Let me get it for you.
No, he had an assist, but he played 1 assist. He was a +1. Took a penalty that they scored on. He played 824 tonight. Won 2 faceoffs and lost 4. So there's your impact forward.
Here's your first round pick. Yeah. I wouldn't sign him. This is what he is. This is what he has been since he was 12.
What he's always been.
He always has been. Like, he wasn't like a guy that had a 60-point season in the OHL or something in 42 games. Like, he's not that guy. He's not a guy who had 20 goals a senior at Michigan. He was like a third liner at Michigan. He was playing behind Matty Beniers and all those other guys who were playing more ice time than he did. He was like a bottom 6 guy from Michigan.
He was a 4th line player on that development team that had like
the development team is a 4th line player. Yes,
the Hughes, Boldy, Turcotte, Zegras. Like that team, he was a 4th line guy.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Yeah, of course.
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
like he was barely on the team.
He was barely on the team. He was like he's to that team what he is to the Bruins right now.
Yeah, barely on the team.
He was a penalty killer, 4th line guy that could skate fast, and occasionally, because in college you'd go up against some guys sometimes that couldn't skate. You could blow by him and score.
Blow by him.
But
how many times do we see him on the video?
Never had 10 goals.
No. How many times do you see him in the highlights blowing by a guy on the wing, like blowing by a guy and then not finishing? Yeah. Oh, great move here by Robert Chalmers. Putting up a video. Oh, Beecher blows by everybody in the neutral zone, walks in and just misses the net. But what speed? Well, he fucking didn't do anything.
Either that
or he didn't score.
And then just stick handle the puck into the corner.
Yeah, right.
Does that too. A lot.
Oh, fucking A. How many times you go down? Now we can't go by the guy because it's the NHL and he gets driven into the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time. The tank is back on, says Andrew Peterkin. I'll tell you what, I've said it before and I'll say it again. They're gonna pick, I'm predicting they'll pick 7th in the draft.
I said in the 8 to 10 range.
Okay. That's where it's gonna be. 7 to 10. That's what they're going to pick. So they're going to be lottery, and the ball's not going to fall not miraculously. They're going to be in anywhere between 7 and 10, which is from what you hear, there's 15 to 18 guys who are decent, I guess. So they might get a Jake O'Brien or someone who's a decent prospect.
Yeah, somebody said Jake O'Brien was going to work his way into the top 5, and that
he's moving in the top 5 potentially. Yeah.
Super.
But that's the type of guy though. Center, big.
Yeah, he'll probably
local.
be a stud, and he'll get picked. 2 picks before we pick.
Yeah,
is what will happen, and we'll get the Pavel Zacha of that draft, who's like pretty good, but never really
Casey Mittelstadt
lives up to his potential.
Yeah, Zacha was what, 6th, and Mittelstadt was 8, I think.
I don't know what
something like that. Yeah, Mittelstadt I think was 8. Like those types of guys. Okay player. Okay, yeah, 8th overall. Boom. Yeah, that's
Well
Casey
done.
Mittelstadt right there. Yeah, 63 games, 11 goals. That's Zacha-ish right there. Zacha-ish numbers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mittelstadt
They got a bunch of the same guys. Yeah, has what, 3? Did you get one today?
Yeah, point.
So assists in each of the first 3 games.
Goal and 2 assists.
Goal and 2 assists. Great. Well, hopefully he has a pretty good year. Like I look, just be a really good second line center, and or put him up with Pastrnak next year. See if they can have some chemistry. I don't know. Well, tonight, any type of fleeting momentum, any type of semi-chub you had is gone.
Yeah.
The Bruins lose 6-3 in Ottawa. Ottawa is surging. Ottawa is going to be is going to take that number 1 wild card spot at least, and you're fighting for number 2. A bunch of bad teams with you, but I think you've just played too many games, and I don't think it's going to happen. So now you're just kind of looking at draft position, where they're going to end up, and at least we'll have an eye on the draft coming up this summer. You'll be able to take a look at prospects and tell everybody all you know about, Joe shit my face and, Dick Hurts from Holden, all those guys. And you'll tell us
the scouting thing to the draft and just go by that. And we'll say, these are the guys, this is who the Bruins should pay. And we'll keep track of it. This is who the Bruins should.
We're going to do the draft board
based on central scouting. This is who.
Yes. Yeah.
The best player available at their slot. We'll see who it is, and we'll say we'll keep track of that guy, and then we'll see who the Bruins pick. Probably somebody that's a reach that should have been picked in round 4.
Sure.
Like Zach Senyshyn, and we'll keep track of it, and we'll see. If they just followed the central scouting fucking list, they'd probably have a better prospect pool and a better team.
Well, as Bruins 1970 says, won't have to wait 2 hours on draft night for your pick this year. You get it in about 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Bruins lose tonight 6-3. They play Saturday. Saturday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning at home.
So we will be here, and the Lightning want revenge. So
right to the bitter end. Right to the bitter end. Thanks everybody again. Great night tonight. Hey, 20% off with the code Sorry John for the rocks, glass, or anything else in there. I don't know. Just use Sorry John and buy whatever you want.
Yeah,
but those are sweet. And we're gonna do some sips. Some night we'll announce the game. We'll do some after a post game, like a Saturday night. We'll do a little sip party. Everybody will throw their sips in the comments. It'll be a good old time because the hockey's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So anyway, until next time, folks, as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.